We wrote Beyond Baby Talk for parents and caretakers so they could really understand how speech and language development progresses from birth up until about third grade. It covers speech and language development, how kids develop oral language through from birth to about 5 years and 6 years, and then also covers written language, so early reading and writing and spelling up through third grade. So they really have a handle on the milestones that their children are developing as they go through those early years.
And Beyond Baby Talk also addresses some important factors that might influence language. For example, does watching TV have an effect on language? Does playing with computer games have an effect on language? What about birth order, first or second child? What about boys versus girls? All of these factors are of interest to parents, and they are interested in finding out whether these factors affect language development. So Beyond Baby Talk does address these issues as well.
I think some of the anxieties that parents might feel about their child's first word or waiting for the child's first word is that it's an important milestone. I mean, it's one of those first steps to becoming more human-like almost, you know. And the other thing is it's both literally and figuratively that idea of getting a voice. You know, they're anxious to hear what is this child going to sound like when she becomes or he becomes a human being, and what's he going to sound like when he starts to talk.
I think it's a really important social milestone as well. It's the thing that most people know about. Most people know that they can expect that child's first word somewhere around 12 months old, so everybody knows to look for it.
Within parents, there's always this idea, well, what's going to be that first word? Is it going to be mommy? Is it going to be daddy? Is it going to be the dog's name? You know, what's that first word going to be? And then across parents, sometimes there's competition. Is my child going to be the first? Going to say his first word? Is her child going to say the first word? And what we would say to parents is, don't get caught up in that race. Okay, that let your child just go along on his or her journey and be prepared when he's ready to say his first word or she's going to say his first word, he or she will say it.
This is the beauty of the notion of language development. Most of the things that parents can do are natural, and they occur in everyday fun situations. The first thing is to talk about what the child is interested in. Follow her lead. Make sure that the language you're using is appropriate for her level. So if the baby is only speaking in 1 or 2 word sentences at a time, then let your models be about that level. Let your models follow what she is interested in. That's the key piece. Another thing that parents can do to really encourage their children to be good communicators is to listen to them. Encourage them to express their opinions, and then value what the child has to say when those opinions are expressed. That is, when children feel comfortable talking about ideas with their parents and expressing them to their parents, they're more likely to feel comfortable talking about and expressing those ideas to others.
So all of those things help your child be a strong communicator. One thing that we would say for parents is that you don't need to do, you don't need to pull out the flashcards, you don't need to buy fancy programs off TV, and you don't have to worry about drilling your child over and over again. You just need to worry about, you don't have to worry, you just have to talk naturally to your child, and he or she's going to learn language. Our book has a whole chapter on if you think your child does have a problem. You can go to a very valuable resource, which is a certified speech language pathologist. Probably the best thing to do is to go look at the American Speech Language Hearing Association's website. That's asha.org, and you can search for a certified speech language pathologist in your area by going to that site and seek help for your child.
And the nice thing about seeking an evaluation from a certified speech language pathologist is if something needs to be done, early intervention has shown to be very effective. And if something doesn't need to be done, then the parents are reassured that everything's okay. I think the important thing to keep in mind if you are suspicious that your child may have a speech language problem is to equip yourself with the appropriate level of knowledge. And that's why we wrote Beyond Baby Talk, so parents could find out whether or not their suspicions were indeed warranted or they were just needless worries. So by having an appreciation of the information that's covered in Beyond Baby Talk about different milestones, different phases of development, then the parents can know whether or not their child is indeed meeting these at the expected time. Most of the time, they're going to find out that indeed their child is right on track.